I'm gonna take my grandkids, so that'll be fun.
It's a fun game.
There you go.
The senator, you're gonna let them read first.
This is gonna be from.
So,
No, they're in Route
That's
180.
fine.
I've taken.
It'll go up higher if you want it to.
I haven't taken them anyplace else yet. So they all have Navy attire. They're all set. They wear it to their schools all the time.
You ready?
Yep.
Son-in-law went to West Point.
All right.
Yeah, that's I'm going next.
So you ready?
Yep.
Okay, we want to take a few minutes to thank everybody for being here. We want to thank all the agencies that's come to support us. We've got people from all over the state here. We just want to say thank you. You know that Hurricane Helene has been a Category 4 now. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to get everything ready. The Taylor County Sheriff's Office doing everything we can. We got all kinds of support. We just want to say thank you. We have Senator Rick Scott here. We have CFO Jimmy Patronis and Senator Simon. We just want to thank y'all for being here. We appreciate everything everybody's doing. We thank you for your hard work, and we're going to endure. We're going to make it. It's just going to make us tougher, and it's going to make us better. So I'm going to turn this over to Senator Rick Scott.
So 6 years ago, right about this same time, we had Hurricane Michael. And here's what happened. It's almost the exact same path, a little bit further to the west. But what happened is it happened really fast. And this is going to be a fast-moving storm. If you look at this, in the next 24 hours, it's going to be on land. And as the sheriff said, it looks like it's going to be a Category 4. We're going to see storm surge from Naples, where I live, up to Mexico Beach. In the Big Bend, they're talking about possibly 18 foot of storm surge. Now let's put that in perspective for a second. I'm about 6 feet. I'm a little over 6 feet. That's 3 times my height. None of us are living that. So I remember with Irma down the Keys, we had I think about 9 foot of storm surge. And what happens is the water all flows in and sucks everything out, right? Except something that's tied down or really heavy. Okay, that's what's going to happen. In Tallahassee, there are in Leon County along the coast, Jefferson County, Franklin. We were there a little bit earlier. They're talking about 10 or 12 foot of storm surge. You're not going to survive. I mean, you're not going to live through this stuff. If you go back, and by the way, everybody needs to watch this. Go back to Ian, which actually hit primarily Fort Myers Beach and hit Naples last year, 2 years ago. Oh, everybody thought, it's going up towards Tampa, and the last few hours it turned directly into Fort Myers Beach. 151 people lost their life. They didn't evacuate, right? They thought they could survive this unbelievable amount of storm surge. They didn't. So here's the deal. You can rebuild all those nice homes, you can build your business, you can't rebuild your life.
Right.
You will be gone, right? If you love your family, you love your kids, your grandkids, your parents, your siblings, your friends, right? You need to take care of each other. So if you think there's a chance you're going to have to evacuate, get the hell out. Don't wait. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to run out of gas, the roads are going to get clogged, and you're not going to have a place to stay. So get out. I mean, don't take a chance, right? And then we're going to have flooding. We're going to have a lot of down power lines. If you're worried, the other thing is, think about it. You think we're going to be without electricity? Yeah, we're going to be out with electricity. Look, I remember Ermine. Tallahassee loves those trees. They're beautiful. Guess what? They fall down. You're going to be out of power for a while. Right? That's what's going to happen. Let's live in reality for a second. So evacuate, don't die. All right? If you need electricity, you're going to probably lose it for a while. So that means you need to have 7 days water, 7 days food, have your medicine, have everything you need. And if you still need electricity, realize your phone's going to run out. Your battery's going out, right? Unless you have a nice big generator and you have a lot of propane. So take this stuff seriously. No one needs to buy. I remember, I was thinking about this. We drove through Mexico Beach today. I remember we went there before the hurricane, and we said, oh gosh, it's going to be really bad. We're going to have 9 foot of storm surge. And they said, oh no, it's just like a Category 1 or 2 or 3. We've survived it. Well, I remember, if you remember the street in Mexico Beach, that main street, there was debris all the way up to the condos on the other side and all those businesses. The debris, it was, right? I remember talking to people. They said, well, we'll never do this again. I remember walking down the street the day after, and a man came up to me and said, hey, I'm trying to find my mom. If you know anything about my mom, and tell me. They found her 5 days later. She had died, right? She drowned. Because if your home is older, right, it's not just the water that's going to be a problem, which is generally you lose your life over water now. if it's wind and the water and you haven't taken care of an old house, the whole thing collapses. I think that's what happened to his mom. So we got to understand this is dangerous. Don't take a chance. I want everybody to survive this. Everybody's going to bust their butt afterwards. But by the way, in the middle of it, sheriff can't go out.
True.
Right? No first responders going out in the middle of this thing. So don't think, oh, y'all, I'm going to call 911. They're going to save me at the last minute. It's not going to happen. I remember with Irving, just south in Crawfordville, a lady said that it finally the water got up to about this high, and she said, I decided I better get out. I was worried about my pets. If she hadn't, she would not be here. So it's as simple as that. Afterwards, everybody's going to bust their butt. I mean, let me tell you, sheriffs, police department, fire departments, for all the first responders, they're already prepared to help you. We got unbelievable. We got like 18,000 linemen coming into the state. They're not going to save your life. Maybe they could afterwards if you can get high enough or something, but the odds are against you. So I hope everybody takes this seriously. This is a catastrophic. It's gigantic. I think it looks like it's even bigger than Irma, which is bigger than the state. I mean, this is a big darn storm. So be careful. I want everybody to stay alive.
Be safe.
Yeah. Jimmy Patronis, your CFO.
Thank you, Senator. I can't stress enough, Sheriff Paget and his folks have done an amazing job. Appreciate the Florida Guard being here. Thank y'all for being so supportive, and Florida Department of Emergency Management, thank you for being here and being so supportive. This part of the state has had Idalia, Debbie, and now we've got Helene coming in, and it's unfortunate. Sheriff, I don't know what maybe it's the ribs, maybe you've created a following, but you know, poor Sheriff Paget and his deputies have been through hell. Most of these men and women hadn't even had a chance to put their lives together from Idalia, let alone Debbie, and now this storm. I've got to stress, though, as this storm is making landfall, you still got a little bit of time. You can do it in the morning. I want you to get your cell phone out, and it's a smartphone society that we're in. Film the outside of your house, walk and talk. Film the fact there's no trees on your house. You can do it at night, there's still enough light out there. But film the fact that there's nothing on your house. Then do the same thing inside. Take a little video inventory. Your wall coverings, your floor coverings, your clothes, your TVs, you name it. What's going to happen, just like the senator said, if it's a house that you haven't taken care of and it's gone, now you're going to have to try to piece back the details to file an insurance claim. Well, now you've got photographic evidence on your phone. Ideally, the best thing you do is film that video and then email it to yourself. Put it in a virtual place, because now if you haven't already got outreach from your insurance carrier, which most folks have, either through a push notification, text message, or an email, those insurance companies are trying to start a relationship with you because they're watching the storm just like everybody else is. They're seeing the path, and they pretty much have a pretty good idea who's going to be affected. They know where their policyholders live. So if you've got that evidence on hand, there's going to be an adjuster at some point that's going to come to your home. Now what you've done is that adjuster, he's like an investigator. He is wanting to figure out what was the fault of the storm and determine the difference so they know how big of a check they've got to write. If you've got that photo evidence there, that's going to make that process that much smoother, easier, and cut and dry. I can't stress enough that better staging will take place than the utility companies are with the bad actors. These predators, they're parasites. Their goal is to get in between you and your insurance claim. They're bad contractors. They're unscrupulous folks that are from out of state. They will come down I-75. They're going to cut over to the west, and they're going to go from door to door trying to get you to sign a document. And it'll be an AOB, or it'll be called a directional payments. Essentially what they're doing is you are giving them the rights to your insurance claim. These will be total strangers, and now you've said, hey, total stranger, you know what, I'll let you take over my insurance claim. Good luck now negotiating with your insurance company. Good luck trying to speed things up, because now this parasite owns your claim, and you're going to have to get them to sign off. Their goal is to sign up as many people as possible and leave you twisting in the wind. Some are good, a lot are bad. I tell people all the time, the predators are here hours after the storm. The Good Samaritans don't show up to day 3 or 4. Just like Senator Scott said, you know, the linemen, everybody else, they will be there. Everybody's going to be busting their butt in order to help you after the storm. But the predators know they have got to get there while nobody else has reached out to you yet. They have got to get there while you're vulnerable, while you don't have electricity, while maybe cell phone communications are hamstrung.
Let me explain to them that they'll act like it's just a standard contract.
Oh yeah, I mean,
They'll
so
have a nice form and everything.
I mean, and they're just going to say, hey, this is just how I get paid. Well, it really is. That is how they get paid, and they get to control that claim. So let's say if you're entitled to $200,000, they're going to charge you for $75,000 for a $25,000 roof. They will structure that invoice for whatever amount they suit themselves to be content with. And that means that much money less you've got to rebuild your life with. And it's unfortunate that people like that exist. Another thing you're going to see, and it's not going to be as bad as it's been in the past, because Idalia and Debbie did a lot of tree pruning already, but this is what's going to happen, especially up in Tallahassee as you get to the rest of the Big Bend, is these tree trimmers are going to come down the streets, and they're going to be high-pressure sales tactics to get you to do business with them right now, and they're only going to accept cash. And they're going to tell you, you know, if you pause, like I said, well, my crew's down the street. Once we get done with your street, we're not coming back. Folks, that's like setting your money on fire. There's no way you can be reimbursed by your insurance company if you're doing transactions in cash at your doorstep. So buyer beware. If you're confident that they're going to do a good job, that's between you and the money that you've worked hard to earn. But your insurance company, again, if you contact your insurance carrier, your insurance agent, or my office at 1-877-MY-FLCFO, there is zero chance that you can be taken advantage of. Insurance companies have pre-event contracts. That means they've already got people paid, ready to go to lift trees off homes. So you want to make sure that communication is established, because if you have a tree on your house, your insurance company will pay for it. If you have a tree down in your yard, they will not pay for it. They will take care of what you have insured. They don't take care of fences. They don't take care of detached garages. They don't take care of boat houses. But whatever your house is what the insurance policy is going to be there for. We have got 1,100 urban search and rescue first responders that are being deployed to the state of Florida right now to speak. 6 teams have come from outside of the state of Florida. Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee. These are men and women that are coming, that are going to go from door to door. We have in the state of Florida Task Force 1 and 2, that's Miami-Dade County and City of Miami. They're over at Ocala right now, pre-stage, because they feel like that's a safe place for them to be, bed down, and as soon as that storm crosses the county line, they will be engaged in going from door to door, making sure people are okay. But just like the senator said, please evacuate. Don't make these men and women have to administer life-saving medical aid because your own ignorance or stubbornness of not wanting to leave your stuff, especially in those low-lying areas. But again, I can't stress enough, if your first phone call is to your insurance agent, your insurance carrier, or to my office, 1-877-MY-FLCFO, there's zero chance that you're going to be taken advantage of. I'd like to invite up Senator Corey Simon.
Thank you, CFO Patronis. Thank you, Senator Scott. Thank you, my good friend, Sheriff Paget. All of our first responders, our State Guard, our National Guard, thank you for coming. Unfortunately, we are storm number 3, hurricane number 3 in 13 months. And I know that at this point, the folks that live in this district, you can become weary, storm weary. But now is the time for that steadfast spirit that I know you have. Because I'm not going to let the folks that leave here after the storm forget about this place. I said this after Idalia, and I'll say it now. Long after the cameras are gone, the work will still be here. I'll still be here. And I need the folks to understand that we're not going to leave you homeless and helpless. Our job is to make sure that we're there for you, helping you through this process. I'll continue to fight for you once we get into session to make sure that we get the resources that we need. But over the last 2 years, that's what it's been about for me. How do we get the infrastructure in place so that when things like this happen, we're a stronger Taylor County, we're a stronger District 3 than we started. And that's the focus that I'm going to have. That's the focus that I need all of us to have, because the people of this community depend on it. They depend on it. And so we have it in us to show up every single day until the work is done. Now, I'm going to echo the same sentiments that came from our CFO, from our sheriff, and from our U.S. Senator. Now is the time for you to evacuate. Don't stick around and try and stick it out. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you soft. It makes you smart. And it makes you, more importantly, alive when all of this thing is said and done. We can replace the stuff. We can't replace you.
That's right.
Now is the time to leave. Go. If you need transportation to one of our shelters, Uber is providing free transportation to get you to a shelter wherever you are. Now is the time to leave. I need you here when this is all said and done, because I'm going to need someone to work with. So, again, all of our first responders, thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot say it enough. I'll say it a million more times before this is all said and done, because you all stick around when the vast majority of the folks, when the story stops being on the front pages, you're still here for the folks of this district. And so I appreciate you, and I pray for you and your families. Now is the time for us to continue to come together, because we're going to need it.
Okay, all right. You've got any questions? We're going to take a few questions. But I do have one thing I want to say right quick. We've had people to evacuate. We're under a mandatory evacuation. Looters, do not go on these people's private property and steal their stuff because they had to leave. If one of my deputies or I catch you, we will put you in jail. We'll put you in handcuffs and haul you to jail, and I mean it. Thank you. Go ahead. Do the question.
How concerned are you guys that people are not heeding the call to evacuate? Is this something you're hearing on the streets, that people are a little resistant?
I can just tell you from where I've been today. I was up in in Franklin County. You know, they've got a lot of barrier islands there. They're talking there 10+ foot of storm surge, and not everybody's gotten off, and they're going door to door. But I think what I'm hearing across the state is there, unfortunately, people. And here's how they think about it. It's like the senator says, "Oh, I'm tough, right?" Mm-hmm. Well, you're not tough if you're dead, right? Or, "Oh gosh," and they look at the categories, right? Well, I did a category 3 before, category 4. That the whole difference is that if you think about our state now, with our building codes, a lot of this stuff is just a water event. It's not even a wind event anymore. And so this, I mean, think about it. Hey, if you ever look at some of the videos, you can see how this water just flows in. I mean, it overwhelms you, and then it flows out, and it sucks everything out. I can just tell you, my house down in Naples, there's stuff in all our stuff around our house is all gone. I have no idea. I've never seen it since. I mean, nothing. It's all just, and some of it's heavy. So if it takes that stuff, what's it doing to you? So unfortunately, we have people. As I've talked to sheriffs that have decided not to evacuate, and I think it's too bad. They're not going to be able to be. I hope to God they got high enough. I can just talk about Ian a little bit. If you go to Sanibel, I mean, so you know, think about it, they lost 151 people. We hadn't lost 150 people since like 1935, and because people stayed, and if they didn't get up to if they didn't have the 3rd floor, you know, they didn't survive. So it's really too bad.
Do you have anything to add, Sheriff?
I do. We do have some people that's evacuated, but we do have some people that will not evacuate. But my advice, I'm asking you to evacuate. Save your life, save your family. Please evacuate. We can't make you do it, but we're asking you to do it.
One similar question. A lot of people have evacuated and relocated here to Perry. How confident are you guys that Perry is a safe place to be during this storm?
Well, all of Taylor County is under a mandatory evacuation, and what we're asking people to do is go somewhere else, get out of the county. But you can't make them leave, but we're asking them to evacuate. There is people that's come here, but we're under a mandatory evacuation, and we're asking you to evacuate.
Water's coming up. I mean, just think, water's coming up, and it doesn't appear this is going to be as big a rain event as some of the others like Irma, some of the ones that go slow, because this is really fast. but you're going to have flooding, right? And then there's not. Think about it. Especially along the coast of Florida in this area, there's not that many roads out, so you got to do it early.
And I think the other part of that is we have seen record rainfall in this area. The ground is saturated
Already.
and so you're talking strong winds and trees that are in grounds that are just soaked right now. And so the downed trees is a tremendous concern. We had a couple people pass away in Hurricane Debbie a few months ago. We don't need that. And so now is the time to get out. The ground is too soft, the wind is too strong. Let's just not take a chance.
All reports are saying that coastal Highway 98 will be underwater. So if you think about what's going to happen to that roadbed and how it gets washed out, it's going to make it harder for first responders to get there. We've already been getting reports that we're getting air assets established there in Tallahassee to start hitting the ground as soon as possible, that the winds die down enough. But still, if people evacuate, then there's nobody to rescue. And ideally, that's what we hope. But we've got all these coastal counties, and they're very low lying. That storm surge is going to be something that's going to make it very hard, and it will hamper those rescues. The urban search and rescue teams, they have embedded with them trauma surgeons, and they have structural engineers. But ideally, that's not where you want to get your healthcare benefits, is out in the middle of the field, somebody trying to save your life.
The positive is, and I think that the sheriff said it, and then CFO said it, and the senator said it, is that we have the best first responders in the country. We've gone through a lot, right? So we should be good. But we've got it at the local level, the state level. The federal government is not a first responder. They're basically, what they do is they provide programs through the governor's office afterwards for individual benefits and business benefits and stuff like that. But what's happening with our utilities, with our sheriff's departments, police departments, fire departments, we have people will come from all over. You're already seeing a lot of charities that will come in and help feed people. But I mean, the bottom line is, you got to save your life, because if you don't make the decision, I mean, there's nothing. No one can help you, and it's your choice right now.
I want to add one more thing.
Yes, sir. Keep on going.
If you decide to stay and you don't evacuate, if you hadn't evacuated by noon tomorrow, hunker down. Don't try to leave. Because the water's going to be rising, the wind's probably going to be blowing in the trees and power lines. If you hadn't left the county by 12 o'clock tomorrow, hunker down wherever you at, and we'll come to you as soon as we can.
Right. Anybody else? Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for all your hard work.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Call me by
You're always here.
Okay. Yeah, and if you have any issues with any of the federal, FEMA or SBA or any of them afterwards, just call me.
Okay.
I got a good relationship.